Well,
in the season coming
after
up.
this episode, I can just see the dollars coming
Yeah.
in. That's very exciting.
And it's just such a great story behind the organization. A lot of times, especially in the business world, I'll get phone calls, emails, letters all the time from people with causes and organizations that they want me to support. But a lot of them, you wonder, are you just supporting the board of directors, not the board of directors, but I should say the executive director, the staff? Is the money really getting there, especially when a call center calls up the company?
Right.
Is that money going to the call center? But here I know with his story and everything that's behind it, the money's really going where it should go. And it's such a great story because you hear the way that he was talking about the kids at the hospital. There's some real emotion there and some real caring. When most organizations, it seems that they're just going through the motions and there's not that emotion there. But he really cares about him, so that's the kind of person I want to support.
And in terms of when, I mean, now I know that you just incorporated, you've become this organization and foundation. How will you be able to give out those funds? You know, you have funds coming in. How will you divert those to different groups, or how will it just be based on a case-by-case request?
I think right now the main focus is giving it to Strong Memorial Hospital, and I think I understand that like the big thing for me is not necessarily the money donated to cancer research, because the money we'll make for this organization, I really don't think will really make a huge leap in discovering the cure for cancer. But as of now, people and doctors cure cancer, and the idea is that I want to be able to just give the kids support, money into like just making it more comfortable, more like living at home. That way, like it like diverts some of the stress that's involved. I mean, I know where I had chemotherapy. There's a TV with a DVD player right in like built into the wall in a private room, and I think that it helped keep it like a very like comfortable environment, allowing me to keep my attitude the way it was and just to help out in that area. I think it's more what we're looking to do.
Do you have other elements to your recovery that made it a successful one? I mean, that seems like such a small portion, but it really helped you. Are there other things that brought you relief and comfort that maybe people wouldn't necessarily think of?
Not so much. I think it's just really like it's just the whole idea of support and like my family. My family is really what got me through it, I think, and outside support from people all over the place.
And you were talking in this particular article about your mom. I wanted to go back to that because that's just, I could tell you kind of well up with emotion with your mom driving you back and forth. Where was it that you were driving to for that distance back and forth every day, or was this every week? It was huge.
It was every day except for weekends, for every business day for 30 business days.
Oh my goodness. And that was to get your treatment.
Get my treatment.
And so you would drive for this 90 minutes, and then how long was your treatment all day? What was a day like for you?
Mondays was an all day thing. Monday I started off, it was a long time ago, I don't even remember now. I think Monday I started off, I had to get a shot before radiation, then I went to get radiation, then I came back to the chemo to get, I think it was somewhere around 3 hours of chemo, which was every Monday. But on the other days it was mostly just radiation, but then every day, I mean, with cancer, it's not even always the cancer that's the hardest part. It's like the little like side effect things. I had a feeding tube in my stomach, which actually ended up being dislodged and not working, and caused me to have abscess in my stomach, which is actually sometimes still noticeable. But it was these little things like that, and the idea is like with Safe for Cure is also providing insight on what could happen, not only what the doctors tell you, but just other stuff that happens and just how to be prepared for that.
And so, you know, walking down the journey, again, it's not so much even that first initial set of news, it's everything that comes after and being able to handle it. Now, are you planning to expand your initiative to be able to go and talk to other cancer survivors or those that you hope to motivate? Because your story is so motivating.
Yeah, I definitely am. Actually, for a period of time, I started writing a book, to be honest with you. And it's meant just to maybe put in cancer like centers where like the patients are, so maybe they could just read it. And it just tells my story. It's like, I don't know, just like a small basic idea, and then it tells little like segues and stuff. But I want to really get involved with Strong in with the children primarily in the best way I can. I want to go down there as often as possible. So, I mean, even just to sit there with the kid while he's going through the treatment, I want to like just be able to be there in a sense, so that way he knows that it's not just his family.
That's a really great thing, and I think you should write that book.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold you to it. Bob, as a businessman in the community, what can you tell other businessmen to be able to do other than just to donate, certainly, but how can they support this cause best?
I would say donating and spreading the word. Spreading the word is the biggest thing because he's just starting out this season coming up, and he's got to get all those donations in there. So we're hoping with the best efforts we could probably get 15,000 to 20,000 in the first year, but if people just continue to spread that word, and hockey's a lifestyle in Western New York,
Yes,
between
it
the
is.
Sabres and all the little pee-wee leagues and all this stuff, it's just a whole life cycle that goes from the young kids up to the adults, and people live, breathe, and eat hockey here, and extending in Ontario as well. And there's just so many businesses and so many people that want to give, and you look at the cancer rates in Western New York, they're higher than the national average. So it's an issue that really rings true right here in Western New York, where the benefit that he's giving to the kids in Western and Central New York is amazing. So just the message of hockey and the message of cancer and the message that he's a survivor that really cares, all three of those combined should really help.
And the fact that, you know, we're talking to Western New York right now, and we all pull together during the worst times. You know, we can certainly help others. That's what we like to do. I wanted to just touch, before we go on to break, about the issue of, you said you had a form of cancer that was related to smoking. Is that what, did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, actually.
What was it that they attributed that to? Because you've never smoked. You know, did they have any, just in terms of your risk portfolio, what did they find that was attributed to?
Actually, very bad luck is the exact quote from my surgeon. They have no idea why, to be honest with you. I mean, because it's one of those diseases that, and it's actually, the disease is stronger in people who don't smoke for some whatever reason. But I don't know, I don't really have that many risks as far as where I am. I don't know.
And your age group and everything, it just seems like it was almost like a lightning strike, certainly.
I'm one of the youngest people to ever have it, actually.
Now, are the people that were working with you in terms of your team of healthcare professionals, were they used to dealing with this type of cancer, or were they shocked by the fact that you were such a unique patient?
I was actually a pretty unique patient. They're used to this type of cancer, but they're not used to this type of cancer in a 23-year-old kid who's never smoked or didn't really drink in his life. So I think that was what the big surprise was. But that actually helped. I mean, it got doctors even hopefully more interested, because it was a rare case. So I was lucky in that sense.
They really had their job cut out for them with the fact that you had that, you know, I'm not going to put up with that attitude sort of thing. When you had, after your cancer and chemotherapy was finished, what kind of journey of recovery did you have? Were you put in physical therapy? I mean, because it seems as though you went even beyond regaining what you thought you were going to lose.
Actually, yeah, I think I'm better than I was before. But I went into a lot of rehab and stuff. And I think some of the things for me too, I don't, in my opinion, I feel like I maybe even could have handled it better in a way. But I had a
I don't think so. I think you're.
I had a hard time dealing with the fact that I have to get my life back together now. Like, if this wasn't enough, now I have to figure this out. But I mean, after that started getting on track, I took a little bit of time away. I actually I went away to Texas for a couple months, where I also played hockey, and I lived with people down there, and it helped me kind of clear my mind and get myself refocused. And that's basically where I learned I knew I can play again. So that was my new focus.
I want you just to tell, before we go to break, the story again about your proactivity in wanting to not let this cancer take your hair. I think that is just an inspirational story, because it's just one thing that I would never have thought to do, but you really took control of that.
Yeah, I guess it didn't necessarily work, but the cancer, it took so much away from me, you know. And it was this one day, the day before my treatments, I looked in the mirror, you know what? I had actually kind of long hair. I had kind of hockey hair, so to speak, with like the curls. But I cut my hair basically to where it is now, maybe a little bit shorter, and that way cancer couldn't take my hair away too. But it turned out that I wasn't going to lose my hair anyway.
Because the doctor said that it wasn't the kind of...
It's not, no, it's just that people react differently to every type of chemo, and I was one of the ones that reacted without losing their hair.
But it was your choice, and you took control of it. So that's a perfect place to go to break. Don't go away. We'll be back on Western New York Tonight in just another moment.
Hey kid, my friend wants to know if that girl will go out with him. Pass it down.
Hey, Grandma, ask the girl on the end if she wants to go out with this loner.
The young man wants to know if the girl over there is a donor.
Somebody wants to know if you're an organ and tissue donor.
Yes.
Hey, me too.
Are you a donor? Make sure your family knows your decision so there's no question later.
Do you know how to escape a fire? Well, would you believe you could learn the answer from a baby?
If you get caught in a fire, here's what shouldn't